Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be doing a live review of the new Never Say Die Black Label compilation curated by Oddprophet XL7. The first Black Label compilation of the new decade, I think I'm right in saying. I could be forgetting something. If I am, do let me know below. But yeah, here we have the latest XL installment headed by none other than Oddprophet, who I interviewed a couple of days ago actually in celebration of the release, and if you're yet to check it out, I will link it somewhere across the top here. We talked about the compilation itself, the future of dubstep, tutoring with the Fire, which he's been doing a lot of last few months or so, and what production's like during lockdown, and also the rise of producers like JoeB, who he's a big fan of and who features here on this compilation, one of the lesser known names alongside Disgrace. Aside from that, a selection of big names here with the 10 tunes on this compilation. I am preparing myself for the filth and ready to go with another live review. Hearing these tunes for the first time, I'm going to provide comment along the way with each one and round up a bit at the end as well. So yeah, let's go. And first up here we have Oddprophet himself with Vauxhall Tearout. Let's go. Tense, man. It's tense. Building really well. Oh! Oh! Okay! Oh! Oi! Oi! Oh! Oh! Yeah, I like that. That's what I like. That prehistoric Oddprophet sound just shining through. I love that. The management of timing and space here is just bellissimo. I love it. Not too much going on. He doesn't feel the need to kind of just put too much into the available space and just create tension and atmosphere by leaving those gaps. It's something he's done before on other tunes of his, and it's a good technique. We haven't seen it for a while, I don't think, and it's good to hear it back again. I like it. Ooh. Oh, those samples are fucking insane. I love them. Got those London roots in there as well. Vauxhall gang, Vauxhall gang. That is that's a good start. I like that one. It's yeah, it's just his classic, vintage, prehistoric and Jurassic kind of style shining through. The management of timing and space there, not trying to do too much and just allowing those sounds to really shine through. And yeah, I think the backdrop there was, yeah, it supported it well, and the vocal samples were great. The introduction was the right length and created a good bit of tension and atmosphere, not only for this song, but for the compilation overall. You know, you need that kind of drawn out and enduring introduction, I think, with a compilation like this one. So yeah, not a lot I would change about it, to be honest. You know, maybe a couple more sounds added in as it went on, just to kind of make it a bit more engaging over time. But no, that would be being a bit nitpicky, I think, because he does do that anyway, and if he added more than that, then it might come across as a bit too much. So yeah, a good amount there, but nah, solid tune to kick things off here. Vauxhall Tearout, I can't lie, it's his style, it's what I like about it, and yeah, we get a good dose of that there. Nice stuff. After that, we have Evolved by Badklaat. Here we go. Haven't been massive on Badklaat's recent singles, so interested as to how this one will go. Ooh. Okay, means business, let's go. Nice punch to that build. Ooh. Oh! The way that was cut, that transition was perfect. Snare does fall a bit flat, but you know, aside from that, liking the idea. Yeah, it could have had just a bit more punch beneath it to prop it up a bit more, but the idea is sick and it's got a bit of force to it. I like that. Got sounds on top sounding gnarly and ravenous and all of that. Yeah, could just have a bit more punch, a bit more thwack beneath it to, yeah, just embellish it just a little bit more. One thing I do love about it is how it's cut, you know, just really well angled. The inclusion of vocal samples, really good as well, I would say. Very grand and triumphant here in these moments as well. Yep, picking up a bit. Ravenousness a bit. So on point. Haven't heard that from him for a while. I like that a lot. That was decent. Definitely the best I've heard from him this year, I would have to say. Gnarly, ravenous, and quite savage in its essence. And the sounds he used, I think, to kind of make that happen were good and appropriate. The backdrop at points needed, as I mentioned, a bit more beefing up, a bit more just solidity to it, I would say. But a lot of good to it. The vocal samples and how it's cut as well. A good kind of bounce and rhythm to it as well to go with that. So not perfect by any means. Again, that important factor of percussion at points just not being quite snappy and thick enough, I would say, to back up what's on top. But aside from that, yeah, that is a solid tune, and that sounds like the Badklaat, in my opinion, that we know and love most. Okay, following that, Chainshot by the rising star JoeB. Lego. Interesting. Oh! His style really shining through here. That kind of stop-start, staggered, jabbing, you know, kind of, yeah, just getting at you. That approach. Damn, that was fat. That felt invasive in the best way possible. Just getting at me, jabbing, just fucking full throttle right in my face. Similar to the Badklaat, a couple of issues with the punch of it lying below, but the idea is sick, and it's so definitely him, you know. Oh! Oh man, those industrial chimey jabs just really cut deep here. It just makes these kind of sections like make sense, if you get what I mean, because it's so manic in the heaviness, and then in these moments, like we got that in the intro as well, just a bit disorientating and like dizzying, so very fitting, I think, for what lies in the middle of that tune. But no, I mean, a couple similar issues as with the Badklaat, in my opinion, in that, you know, something I've heard with his music the whole year, and from when I started hearing his stuff, is just, yeah, the percussion could do with, yeah, just a bit more beef beneath it and a bit more snap, just because it kind of falls flat and like folds in on itself. The stuff on top being so prominent and in your face, you don't want a situation where the backdrop, the base of it, is just not backing it up enough, not solid enough to kind of provide that platform for which everything else can have its say, if you get me. The vocal samples are great, and the introduction and outro very fitting as well, and yeah, just the insistence of the idea, once again, his style shining through, is another thing to enjoy about it. So yeah, I think again here, a situation where the good outweighs the bad just about, but yeah, JoeB, one to look out for sure, and that is another solid number to add to his discography, I would say. Yeah. Then we have Kill Feed with Back and Forth. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Ooh! Ooh, that's beautiful. Fuck. That's lovely. And that is good. Here we go. Oh! Ow! Oh! Shit! That's it! That's it! Ow! Oh my days, mate. That is fucking sick. Hybrid trap on Black Label, you'd never think, but oh my word. I must admit, I have been critical of his percussion before. Not quite hitting hard enough, not having that sharpness to it, but that, I'm just so impressed, man. That is, like, I'm loving that. And it's not just the percussion, like the idea as well. Captivating, riveting, getting me going, man. It's getting me excited. Really liking that. Wonder what he's gonna do for the second drop, though. Oh! Oh, what a sick idea. Sick execution, production. That one, everything kind of comes together and works really well. All the elements are really existing alongside each other and working with each other to kind of create that whole and round effect. Man, that is just... That one's fucking getting me going. The second drop was actually quite interesting in comparison with the first one because, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be hearing it wrong, but in the second drop, he put a bit of a delay on the synths, meaning that it was a little bit out of time with the production below it, the percussion below it, sorry. Whereas in the first drop, it all felt a bit more in time. You know, not saying that one's better than the other. It was just an interesting change that I noticed, but a good way of keeping the attention of the listener and just, yeah, providing a bit of interest with the original idea that we got in that first drop. But nah, beyond that, that tune for me is sick, you know, very together, and the introduction as well, lest we forget, is a beautiful sequence, a lovely kind of emotion to it, and time-stopping almost in its nature. The relationship here, in particular with this one, between different sections and sequences is wonderful as well. Really good, and vocal samples yet again are on point for what it's trying to do. So yeah, not a lot I would change about it, and a lot going for it. Yeah. After that, we have Oddprophet again, this time with Disassociation. Okay, let's go. Another good vocal sample. What's going on? Mad. Ooh. Powerful kick. Liking that. Lovely build. Perfect length. Oh! Oh! Oh, that is fat. Oh! Fuck! Oh, it's cutting deep. Getting me right here. Okay. He talked in the interview about, you know, wanting to be a bit more melodic and trying to kind of work that into his music more going forward, and yeah, we get that melody and flavour and colour being worked into the heaviness, which he wants to do, and it's awesome to hear. Real aggression to it as well, which I love, in spite of the kind of colour and flavour shining through as well. Oh! Man, that sound is so rich and vibrant. Really fucking... almost got a kind of Oliver's quality to it, you know. Backdrop is good as well, supporting what's on top. Another powerful number there. Really cool hearing him trying to work in that flavour and colour and vibrancy in amidst the heaviness. And that idea, that concept could have been lost entirely if the production beneath it wasn't good and kind of backing it up and solid, if you get me. But nah, really powerful, beastly, and mammoth kind of feel to it. The introduction again here, very long, drawn out, enduring, and with the build following that, gives the track this nice kind of scene-setting feel from the off, and yeah, just gives it a bit of scope as we move into the heaviness. But yeah, this is another solid tune. Again, not much I would change about it, and really liking how the melody and kind of more musical aspect of it is worked in to the heaviness. And again, as I mentioned, has a kind of Oliver's tinge to it, I would say, and it's just nice to hear. A couple of moments I'm not sure quite worked within the track overall, like the midsection, for example, which was just a bit odd with the vocal sampling and like muffling it and all of that. But nah, in the grand context of the tune overall, didn't really play that much of a part, so quite easy to ignore. And yeah, I mean, another solid number here, I can't lie. Okay, halfway through. Next up we have Close My Eyes by Aweminus. Yep, let's go. More of an old school feel here. Oh. Very swampy and muddy and sinewy, twisted, but also fresh at the same time. Like, those sounds, they're fresh. They're vibrant again. Nice musicality here as well. Really nice kind of, yeah, twinkly, sparkly. I like it. Pretty simple idea, quite straightforward, but you know, that doesn't mean that it isn't effective or impactful. Doesn't do all that much for me, but the sounds are sick, as I've touched on already. Bloody hell, what's going on here? Oh! I mean, yeah, it is what it is, just a pretty simple, straightforward, rhythmy kind of tune. Swampy, muddy, and a load of fresh sounds in there. So that kind of sums it up, really, if I'm being honest. That midway point, it did feel a bit directionless, like it wasn't quite sure where it was going. Aside from that, just a pretty simple, straightforward idea. And some good sounds in there, you know, the freshness being worked in to the muddiness of the idea, which I think was a good kind of contrast and juxtaposition, but the idea itself not quite grabbing me, or not a lot there on the invention front, especially in comparison to a lot of other stuff we've got from him recently. For Black Label, he's more likely to bring that classic rhythmy style, so it is what it is, you know, I expected that. And yeah, it's not bad, not bad. Okay, after that we have Shiver by Tracy. Let's go. Decent idea, powerful, but I don't feel any problem here for me in saying snare just needs far more snappiness, sharpness to it. Double drop. Yeah, you can hear that. Bah! Just needs... The idea is like classic him, the kind of quickening that we get, very typical of him. I like that, but yeah, the backdrop, yeah, it doesn't quite have that punch and body to it. Jazzy breakbeat, Never Say Die Black Label. Who'd have thought? Okay. Nice little breakdown, but again, once again, in a completely different way. The backdrop just doesn't support the idea. See, that quickening stuff is so good. I love that little technique he's got. For me, it's impossible to ignore the backdrop, the stuff beneath, which is meant to prop it up, but here, yeah, it falls flat, unfortunately. Some amazing interlude stuff, though, for sure. I mean, you know, that jazzy kind of midsection moment was quite interesting, and I think even fitted in well within the track overall, I would say. It sounded like him, the idea, the sounds, the execution, the way everything was kind of laid out, but it just didn't have that necessary punch and thwack lying beneath to prop it up and give it impact and force and real body, you know. That is what it boils down to, you know. It sounds like him and it's got his kind of stamp all over it, But important stuff like that, the backdrop, the percussion, just it needs to be at least somewhat on point for the idea to be realised and felt. And for me, in my opinion, we don't quite get that here. Alrighty, moving on, the final tune here from Oddprophet, and that is Disgrace. Okay, here we go. Quality again with the vocal samples, come on. Ow! Oh. The snare does just need a bit more expansive of a feel to it. Feels a bit like contained, a bit too like cut short, cut off a bit. Idea is pretty gnarly though again, like... Ow! Oh! Oh! It's monstrous. It's beastly. It's fucking gargantuan. Wave after wave of savage filth. You see what I mean? But the stuff on top is so nice. Like, really, the dynamic between the sounds as well. Really, like, firing off against each other, ricocheting, rebounding. I'm always wary with an Oddprophet tune that right at the end he's going to just drop in another cheeky little vocal sample to kind of provide a bit of humour, but no, alas, not here. But that one, that was just savage, brutal, and he did mention that in the interview that it's just full-on, you know, machine gun kind of sounds, just blaring and glaring, firing at you. And yeah, I think for what it wants to do, delivers it pretty effectively. The snare aside for me, which, as I've mentioned, not quite expansive in feel, especially considering what's on top and what it's trying to unleash and whatnot. But yeah, I think aside from that, again, good vocal sampling, good building, and a good relationship, again, between the different sections. And it's nice to see that we've got a couple of different sides to his style. And yeah, excited to see more of that going forward, which he did kind of allude to in the interview. So yeah, it's good stuff from him here. Okay, penultimately we have Code Execution by Crimer. Let's go.
Greetings, brothers and sisters.
Building really well. Again, I think, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. Sounds on top are quite decent. Again, ravenous, gnarly, savage, but yeah, the backdrop. I like the way it's cut as well, you know, a nice dynamic again here between sounds, but yeah, snappiness, man, it's just, it's not there. The sharpness is not quite there. I like that stuff a lot. The suspense of it, really, really effective, and then the way it kind of builds back up. Exactly the same kind of issue here as with the first drop. Yeah, just a bit overbearing, a bit scratchy, a bit too much for me. The moments surrounding the heaviness are fantastic, and I think some of the best sections on the whole project for me. Very suspenseful, dramatic, and I love the kind of management of silence there, you know, really, really good. Yeah, the heaviness, whilst I like the sounds and there's a lot of potential there in the execution, in the general design of it, yeah, not a lot that's screaming out to me, you know, fresh and alive and punchy and sharp. So yeah, everything surrounding the heaviness for me, really well done. But yeah, the heaviness itself, not quite with that execution to make it a fully rounded and polished track, in my opinion. And finally here today, we have Reload by Graphite and Disgrace, an interesting combination to finish off here. Let's go. This could be big, this one. Could be big. Ooh. Oh! 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 Quite a range of snares here, I must say. That initial drop, some of the sounds in that were fucking mad, like so good. The growls and belches and snarls and stuff, so good. The progression I wasn't as big on. Backdrop not quite as good, but that first drop fucked me up. Ooh! Dynamic here, spot on, like just so sick. Like some of it is so full on, and then other parts of it are a bit more mellow and kind of stripped back. I like it as a kind of mix of moods and oh well, there we go. That is the end of that one and the compilation overall. Yeah, quite the interesting number to close there. I mean, it was such a mix of different approaches and just sounds and types of delivery that I don't think I can give a kind of whole overview of it. It just kind of delivered so much that it's difficult to say it was that, or, you know, something in particular. It just really did throw so many different kinds of delivery at you. It was kind of unique in that way. You know, at one point, really full on, and at other points, just a bit more stripped back, as I touched on, and then other points beyond that, somewhere in between. So yeah, I mean, when you take all of that into account, just a bit difficult to give a good overview. But then you could say, yeah, that variety, that kind of diversity is brilliant, and you could do with more of that in individual dubstep tunes. But then you could also say it was maybe a bit indecisive in its progression and didn't have a particular idea that it stuck with going forward during its course, which would have made it a bit more catchy and easier to get into. Some fantastic snippets in there, you know, in the first drop in particular, and also that second drop breakdown I think was really clever, and the introduction as well had some really nice sounds in it, you know, kind of ravey, futuristic kind of appeal there. One of those for me where loads of really, really good and then a bit that just kind of brings it down a little. So I would say good and not so good in equal measure to finish off here. But overall here, I'm looking forward to hearing it again so I can have a more rounded view of the compilation with headphones as well, as opposed to just my speakers here, because at the moment, to me, it feels like a tale of two halves. You know, in the first half, the good outweighs the not so good in each of them, in my opinion, and in the latter five, the second half, the aspects which aren't quite as good, I think, stick out more. That's my take on it after one listen. That's why I want to hear it again, to kind of see if that changes going forward. Ideas-wise for me here, it just feels like the first half is a lot more exciting. You know, there are moments in the second half as well, for sure, but when it comes to attention-grabbing material, for me, the second half just pales way, well, a lot in comparison with the first. That being said, you know, my mind could change, as I mentioned, when I hear it again and again. Yeah, initially here, when I heard it for the first time, I was thinking, well, this could be one of the best compilations of the year so far. But as it goes on, by the end, wasn't thinking that quite as much. But again, if I hear it more and more, well, I will. But when that happens, you know, my opinion could change. Who knows? For what it's worth here, my favourites are Disassociation from Oddprophet, and also The Kill Feed and JoeB. And so there we have it, my initial thoughts and reaction to the compilation, the new compilation from NSD Black Label, curated by Oddprophet XL7. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. What did you guys make of XL7? Do you have a favourite tune or tunes from the 10? Drop all of your views, thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. But beyond that, keep it naughty. If it's naughty, then you know. And I will see all of you legends in the next one. Peace.